So today I'm doing a classic camping gear review. I saw this article on eTrailer and they had some favorite camping gear that people enjoy. And I gotta be honest, some of the things on the list I've stayed away from over the years, and some of the things I've never actually considered for RVing, but could be a really good idea. So let's dive into it. Numero uno, the aluminum cargo carrier, so you can add extra storage on the backside of the RV. These things are classic. This one makes the list because of Jacob's review of I have too much junk in my trunk as is. Cool it. So when I have to pack up for a trip, I find that storage space is the hardest thing to come by. With an extra shelf to strap some of my gear to, I'm always able to arrive prepared for just about anything. So this is something that I was definitely not surprised to see on the eTrailer list for favorite gear. You would think this is something kind of like their bread and butter. This, bike racks, hitches, that kind of thing. But this does give you extra storage on the back of the RV. I just have a few thoughts with it. This one is rated at 500 pounds, so it's a healthy, very sturdy storage that you can add to the back of the RV. And it really can't be any easier than that. Just connecting it to the back receiver hitch on the back of the RV, it's that simple. So you do have to strategize how and what you're gonna put out here. You don't want it to be too heavy. Number one, the things that you're gonna put out here should be okay to get wet. And the other thing is, I don't put the things out here that I'm as concerned about being stolen. So for theft, if it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, I love to have those things in the bay. And then things that you don't mind sitting outside, you can still lock them and chain them up on here, but that is something to consider. The other thing is weight. Knowing the weight of your RV is something that you should know when you're using something like this. You don't want to overload anything in the RV just by adding extra storage. But keeping things organized and adding extra storage, it's pretty hard to beat this. Now, the second one is one that I didn't even know really existed, and it's this Kelty Camp Galley Kitchen Organizer. And so this one was put on there by Izzy B. And so I think the thing about this one is finding the niche that this works well in, because not every RV is gonna need something like this. This basically has all the stuff that you need to be able to use outside to have a kitchen. So you have a place for paper towels at the bottom, you have a place for plates, you could do paper plates, you can do like cooking utensils that you can put up in here, you can have a lighter in here. So there's things that you can stack in here so you can deck this out how you would like. So that way you don't have to have like a million trips in and out to be able to get to the stuff that you need. Or if you wanted to have an outside kitchen stash where you kind of had everything there to make the outside kitchen work and have it all be organized and compact and easy to store. So I see this working well for overlander type of teardrop trailer setups where you might have that outdoor kitchen, you don't have a lot of counter space, but you would like to have a little bit more function. You can hang this up and be able to use that and gain a lot of use out of it. Okay, now this next one, I honestly don't think I would think of it for the favorites camping list, but it's actually brilliant. And it's the WeatherTech floor mats, the ones that are custom fit, so they're molded to the inside of the car. The review that got them on the list was, I am regularly outdoors. I have dogs, and let's be honest, dirt exists. These floor mats have allowed me to drive my car no matter what state my shoes are in without the fear of making a mess. When we had the old mats that were in here and I had worn through them, you'd get in with muddy shoes or sand, and you'd almost try and not put your foot down even though you're going to be driving. With these, it doesn't matter. These are filthy right now. The sand from Florida that we have in there, it's easy because you can just pull those out, you can clean them off, you can hose them down, you can use a pressure washer and put them back in. You're not worried about them. So the only thing about them is I don't know why I didn't do these sooner. Now, after having these, it would be hard to go back. These are definitely a 5-star on my list. Very, very happy with them. I should mention, I'm gonna put links down in the description to everything that's in this video. So right down in the description or in that first comment, you'll see everything that's on the list for this video right down below. And our next thing, we don't have to go far because it's used on the door jamb here, and it's a doorstep. It's this little guy right here. This was Rachel's favorite gear, and she says, affordable, convenient as an add-on to all our rooftop adventure toys, has a large weight capacity that would fit a variety of neighbors. It's smaller to store away when not in use than many of the other tire steps or similar items. And I would definitely have to agree with that. It's so small and compact, I just keep it under the front portion of the seat here. And so that way I don't have to go digging for it anywhere else. So it has this hook that comes out. You hook that right into the door jamb and you can hold about 400 pounds on this step. Pretty solid little step. It has rubber on the back here, so you shouldn't be scratching the door jamb of your vehicle, but pretty stout little guy for getting up on the roof of the vehicle. Okay, now this next one is a little bit of a mixed bag for me. It's not a bad product, but I think it's sometimes slightly overhyped. And it's snap pads. So I think snap pads are great with a little caveat, but first, let's look at why Amber put it on her favorite camping list. There are enough steps to complete when setting up your camper. Snap pad jack pads save me a step and make for one less thing to worry about. Now, let me give you my thoughts on the snap pads because there are benefits that go with it. And we have been in locations where it is mandatory at that location to have something underneath your metal jack pad. And so if you're like Amber and you want these always attached there, that is one less step so you can set up quicker and you don't have to think about putting something underneath your jack pad, especially if you have a Class A or a Class C where you're trying to crawl underneath there and get to those jack pads, or maybe you have a fifth wheel that has 6 jack pads that you're wanting to put blocks underneath, then this does significantly help you out on setup. So if you're getting them for the right reasons, it makes sense to me. For us, we usually have to put blocks underneath our back jack pads. Not every single time, but enough times that it's become second nature for us just to do that every single time. So since that's how we kind of do our own preferred setup for this specific RV, I don't see much use having snap pads on the RV. You don't want to have both of those together. These are great because they give you more space, but if you're already sitting on a block, then that extra space that you have on the bottom of the snap pad isn't going to give you any benefit. And my wife likes a really stable trailer when it's set up. That's why we have the braces that are on there, but also having those blocks that are underneath there set our feet a little bit higher and make it even just a little bit more stable for us. So my quick review on these, I know I didn't fully give them a try because I didn't put them on, but I wanted to keep them new because I put an Instagram post out there and we're going to be sending these off to Daniel. He said he could be able to put them to use, so that's what I'd rather do. Somebody that's going to like them and appreciate them, I'm going to send them off and let them enjoy them. What it came down to for us, why we didn't install them, is because this back jack doesn't have a tremendous amount of adjustment going up and down. And so these blocks help us give it that adjustment that it needs in the places that we go. I could drop it down a little bit and put the snap pad on, but then it brings it lower to the ground and I don't want to have to worry about dragging it or scraping it somewhere and damaging it. So the blocks is the solution for us. Blocks plus snap pads just isn't helpful. Then it's just expensive pieces of extra weight on the RV at that point to me. I know a lot of people love them and use them. I think it's a good product and I think they've done a great job marketing it. So let's move on to the next ones. Now here's a couple of quick easy ones. So this is a refillable lighter. So it has more of like a torch at the end, which I really like because it's going to be a bit more wind resistant. But the refillable part is pretty cool. So it's not going to be disposable. You use up the fuel and then you end up throwing them away. You know how you just sit there and click and click and click with the normal lighters. Well, this one, you can adjust the flame and you can add more fuel to it when it's getting low. So kind of a handy little lighter for RVing. The next thing is gas stop. So this is more of a safety device, but this guy comes in pretty handy. You just mount this directly to the tank. You prime it a few times. I don't know if priming is the right word, but once you do that, the gas will start flowing. And then if it detects a leak, it's going to shut down the propane so that you're not going to have a big propane leak. It also has a gauge on top, which can kind of come in handy. I mean, it's not going to be super accurate telling you exactly how much propane is in there, but it's nice that it has a little gauge on top. Now, I'll admit some of the stuff on this list is, I wouldn't necessarily say eclectic is the right word, but you kind of get my idea, is these aren't the things that I would traditionally think are people's favorite RVing gear, but I think the point of that is to find the gear that fits your niche. Some of the gear that fits the teardrop trailer niche or the Class A niche may not be the one that fits everybody else's niche, but it might be a piece of your favorite gear. And that's what's fun about looking at other people's favorite gear, is you might learn something new looking at how they do it or what they value in their gear. But I want to thank eTrailer for sponsoring today's video. They really do have a very wide variety of things for RVing that can be very useful. So again, all the links are going to be down in the description. I think that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it helped you out in some way. So as always, if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video. Take care.